Good evening, Freedom fans. Tonight's Freedom Face-Off is going to be with another huge rematch and United States title fight between Summer Bronco and Megan from Wooden Man Muay Thai. Without further ado, let's invite both of these ladies in. Summer, you're invited. Megan, you're invited. Hello, ladies.
Hello, hello.
Without further ado, tonight's Freedom Face Off is going to be between two very well experienced uh, ladies for the USA Muay Thai. They had previously fought earlier this year. It was an amazing fight. Um, this is a rematch, obviously, and it's going to be for the United States title. Let them invite and introduce themselves. Megan, you first. Please tell us your name, age, and your gym.
Okay, I'm Megan. I'm 28 and I fight out of Woodman Muay Thai in San Francisco.
Summer, same
Hi, I'm
thing for you.
Bronco. I'm 19 and I'm from Eastside Muay Thai.
Megan, please tell us when and why you started Muay Thai.
Oh, I started Muay Thai a little over 3.5 years ago. I think about 3.5 years ago. It's actually a crazy story. I was like volunteering in San Francisco, and this guy that was like, I'm sure high out of his mind, probably thought I was a zombie or something, like actually punched me while I was volunteering. Like, thankfully, I wasn't hurt or anything. But that like made me want to get started learning self-defense, and so I just started with some cardio boxing, and next thing you know, I made my way to Wooden Man and then Saxon Muay Thai in Texas, and all kind of, became an addiction from there.
You didn't think you were gonna go anywhere where you're going at right now.
No, I mean, I didn't even want to fight. And then when I had my first fight, it was like, oh, I just need to make sure I can actually defend myself in like a real situation. And then once I stepped in the ring for the first time, I was hooked.
Look at you now. Summer, same thing for you. When and why you started?
Started Muay Thai when I was actually 6 years old. For some reason, I just really wanted to do arts. So luckily, my parents brought me to a Muay Thai gym. Um, I didn't start recently training with my coach when I was 9, and then from there, I kind of took off to fight more seriously from a kid to a teenager to now an adult.
Awesome. Megan, what would you say has been your toughest fight so
Oh, I mean, I feel like they're all tough for different reasons. I think the fight against Summer was definitely tough because I think at the time she was like the highest level person I'd fought. So it was
who was it?
I said initially, like I would say Summer was at the time my hardest matchup because she was the highest level person I'd fought. I think since then, I think my most difficult fight was definitely the gold medal match at IFMA. Mainly because it was the first time I fought somebody that was taller than me. That was like a different psychological factor that I never experienced, and I also definitely got hit harder in that fight than I ever had before. And I think mentally that was there's a lot of pressure, and also just a very strong fighter in that matchup.
Which country was it?
Mexico.
Oh, the Mexican girl. Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
Summer, which fight would you say has been your toughest fight to date?
I'd probably say my fight 2 years ago on Freedom, actually, against Amy Duke. Very fast. She's very technical. Um, and that was my first fight without any gear, so it was definitely
Oh, really?
challenging. Yeah, so it was definitely very challenging, but it was a really good fight. So I would probably say that's probably my most challenging fight I've had so far.
Megan, what would you say has been your biggest victory in your career,
Oh, my biggest victory.
and why?
That's hard. I mean, honestly, I think again going back to IFMA, I think it was my first win there. Because to be honest, I didn't go into that tournament with the expectation of winning. I mean, for those that don't know the backstory, like Summer had beat me at the qualification fight, and then because of like the age divisions, I was still able to get on the team. And I just kept telling myself, like, there's no way I'm gonna essentially have like gotten onto this team without earning it and then lose my first fight. Like, that's just not an option. And so I think kind of going out there and proving to myself that I belonged to be there in that first fight at IFMA was a big mental barrier to overcome. And yeah, I think I was most proud of that moment.
Same question for you, Summer. What would you say has been your toughest fight? Or no, sorry, biggest victory?
I'd probably say being able to be on Team USA quite a few times already. I haven't reached obviously the goal that I want to get in the past, but that's always going to be something that I'm going to reach for in the future someday. So I'm not going to give up that dream yet. I'm still going to achieve it as I can. So I'd probably say just being able to represent my country is one of the big accomplishments. I'm going to keep fighting until I can reach that goal.
So just a few, I think about 6 months ago, both of you ladies fought in the USA qualifiers. Summer, you won. Why? Please let everybody, because I myself, I didn't want to say it. I wanted you guys to say it in this live. So Summer, what happened, and tell us why Megan ended up going instead of you?
It was just because of the age difference. So, probably she went through the whole.
You're cutting up.
Oh, you hear me?
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. So it was the age difference and everything. It was the different categories. And obviously she went through to win the whole thing. And yeah, so I know a lot of people have been asking for us to fight again, and I've heard a lot of people come up to me asking us to asking when we're gonna rematch and fight again. So this is something that a lot of people have been asking for and really excited for us to fight again and everything like that. Yeah.
Megan, you lost that fight, but you went on to win something even bigger. You know, you went and won the gold medal in the biggest, most prestigious Muay Thai tournament in the world. Honestly speaking, after winning the gold, did you think to yourself like, "Oh, I got to come back and fight Summer"?
I mean, as soon as I lost to Summer, I knew we were gonna fight again. So it's like it's always an interesting dynamic, I think, then like being on the team together and like getting to know each other, kind of knowing that like a fight's gonna come down the road. But at the end of the day, right? Like, there's not that many people left that don't cherry pick matchups or are in the weight class or at that level, and so not from a personal level, but just from a level of wanting to continue to get better. Summer's one of the only people I think left in the weight class to fight again. And, you know, I think other people want to see this. I want to see this. It's a like full rules, you know. I think the last fight was with gear and IFMA style, kind of that point Muay Thai. And I think this will be a very different matchup. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to this style of fight between us as well. I think it's going to be a really good show.
Definitely. Questions are coming in already. If anybody has any questions they want to ask Megan or Summer, feel free to let them know in the comments. But I want to ask you this kind of same question, Summer. You won the fight, but Megan went on to win the gold medal for IFMA. When you saw that happen, did you think you want to fight her, even though you already won? Did you think you want to fight her again after that?
Yeah, I was already expecting it.
Why?
I feel like both of us equally have something to prove. Then she lost the first time, but then she went on to win the gold medal in her division. So I feel like we both equally have a lot to prove for ourselves. And especially for me, like I feel like I have a lot to prove. Not being able to go and win, and also I feel like I have a lot to prove to myself, as well as being close to winning the freedom title 2 years ago. So now I feel like I have a lot to prove to, you know, get a second chance at the freedom title and winning that. So I just feel like it comes down to us equally proving, like us equally be able to prove who's the better one.
So we got a question that's for you, Summer. Summer, you won the first fight. Why take a rematch?
It's what the people want. Everyone's been asking for it. So you got to give the people what they want.
There's another one for you, Summer. What would you say Megan's strengths are? And same question for you later, Megan.
Very good southpaw. She's very, very technical. I feel like one of my biggest challenges for her when I fought her at the qualifiers is that she's very technical. She fights very clean. She's very smooth. So, you know, you kind of have to, for this fight coming up, I'm expecting her to, you know, kind of fight technical as well still. And I know that's going to be a challenge when we fight. So,
Mama Des said, "Who runs the world?"
Mama knows best.
yep.
So, Megan, same question. What do you see as the strengths for Summer?
Yeah, so I think definitely a strength is like the quickness. I think I think that we're pretty evenly matched in the technicality and speed, and that was just something new for me. I mean, I think from the angle of being more technical, most of my fights had honestly been against people that like tried to just run me over. And so I remember getting in the ring, and when she was just kind of having like the same technical Muay Thai stance, like the first round or so, I was like, oh, this is weird. I don't really know how to fight someone that's not just trying to bulldoze me. And so I think that was definitely a change of pace, but I loved it. And I think that that's what makes me excited for the matchup again, because I do think we represent women's Muay Thai really well. And I expect it to be a very high level fight again the second time.
I honestly believe you two are on the pro level. You're not even at that high amateur level, and I say that not making it any bigger than what it is, but everybody's gonna get to see it for themselves September 9th. We have another question here. This is for you, Summer. They're asking, will we see that beautiful white crew again?
Absolutely, every time. Yes.
With that said, Megan, are you gonna do yours?
I will do a white crew. To be completely honest, like I know that there's only one fight I can win that night, and it's not going to be the white crew competition. So, Summer, I will go ahead and yield to you on that one. Mine will be a very simple, simple one that I know I can't mess
up. Megan, what do you think was the main factor of why you didn't get the W in your first fight with Summer?
I think that looking back on that fight, she landed the last score in a lot of those exchanges in the first two rounds. So I think that she just outscored me. I think it's like a pretty simple like volume, right? She landed more. She was kind of going first, and then I would counter and maybe land something, but then she would kind of have the final point of each exchange. I think I did adjust throughout that fight. Like I definitely think the third round, I really showed a bit more aggression and had adjusted to the style and felt very comfortable in the third round. But yeah, I mean, to me, I looked back at that fight. It wasn't one that I felt like any sort of way about. Like I lost the fight pure and simple. The first two rounds went to Summer because she just outscored me.
Summer, what did you see anything that bothered you from Megan? A style, a technique that you recall?
Yeah, kind of what she was saying. It was honestly very hard to go back and forth and exchange with her because she is so fast, and I know that she's a really good counter fighter. So it was really challenging to have her counter, and then I have to counter back, and then she counters and I counter back. So it was definitely a very back and forth action fight for sure.
Megan, what's your record now?
14 wins and 1 loss.
That's an amazing record. With that one loss, would you say that loss had part to do with you winning gold in IFMA?
Yeah, I mean, I think from every fight that I have, there's takeaways. Like, to be honest, I think that there's a lot of fights I've won that I'm really disappointed in my performance in. I'm pretty critical of myself, and I think my coaches hold me to a very high level. So especially after a loss, right? Like I walked away with a very long list of things that I needed to improve. But the biggest one for me was just I felt like I didn't push enough in the first couple rounds, and I felt like I really let the fight get away from me because I was maybe trying to be a little too technical or really waiting and not putting on the pressure. And so when I got to IFMA, it's open scoring. So I think knowing that, I told myself, I was like, I'm hitting the gas pedal. Like as soon as the first bell goes, and I did that at IFMA, and I didn't lose a round. And I think that just feeling like I could have, like I was so close to winning that fight, and it was my own fault that I didn't, because I didn't push the gas pedal enough. That was definitely on my mind. And I think that lesson will be on my mind for the rest of my fights, right? Because I never want to lose because I didn't put in enough. If somebody comes out and they're just purely better than me and we put on a crazy show and they win, it is what it is. But I want to leave it all out there, and I don't really feel like I did that in the fight against Summer.
I'm actually impressed at how you took that load. Like usually when you see fighters with a great record like that, like 14 wins and 1 loss, um, you tend to see them not take that first loss, very easy. Like I've seen some really experienced fighters not take a loss, like going from undefeated to their first loss, and they're not the same. Mentally, they're not the same. With that said, um, I am impressed at how you took that loss and you actually made yourself better. Is that something that you are usually like in life, or is it something that Muay Thai brought it out of you?
Yeah, I would say that I'm like that in life. Like I would like to think that I'm a resilient person, but I also think part of it is because I don't get in the ring to check a box for the win column, I get in the ring because I want to be excellent at Muay Thai, because I want to make my coaches proud, because I don't like to do anything that I'm not going to do 100% and do really well. And so every fight, like a loss, a win, it doesn't really feel different to me. Every time I walk away, it's with a list of things that I did well and a list of things that I did poorly. And the reason I fight is because fighting reveals the truth, right? You can tell yourself you're the best all day, but when you get in the ring, you're going to find out. And I mean, to be honest, like getting punched, like punching people, I wouldn't say it's like the most natural thing to me, but I want to be amazing at Muay Thai. And the only way to really see the reality of how good I am is to get in the ring and have somebody challenge me. So I think check in the win column, check in the loss column, both of them contribute to me getting better. So I think that is what, kind of contributes to being able to bounce back from a loss.
This question is for both of you. It's from Kick Artistry. The question is, Summer, you could answer first. What does it mean to you, for you to leave the Freedom Ring as the official Freedom USA champion?
It means a lot to me. Like I was saying earlier, a few years ago, I was so close to getting it. Lost to a very, very close fight, which a lot of people thought I edged out. So that one definitely stung a little bit. But I've been thinking about it for the past 2 years. I've been wanting this belt. This is the only belt that I want currently at this very moment. So I have a lot of motivation to get that belt. I've been working really hard in the gym. I recently just started a new strength training program. So I've really been busting my butt to really get this belt. So I'm really excited to fight and put on a show. And
I'm glad you started some strength and conditioning, because this damn thing is heavy as hell. It's killing my shoulder. Megan, same question from Kick Artistry. What does it mean for you to leave as the official USA champion?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Freedom title is big, right? It's one of the biggest shows in the US at this point. Like I think that it would be an organization that I'm proud to represent as well, because I really appreciate everything like you're doing for Muay Thai in the US, and also really promoting women on the show, which I think is amazing. Other than that, like honestly, the reason I get most excited for title shots, and especially for this title, Rami, is because I know that you make your title holders defend the belt, and finding matchups gets harder and harder. So really the reason I want the belt is because it means I get to keep fighting on your show, because you have to
I
have me
promise
out
you,
there
you're
to
not
defend
gonna have
it.
a hard time, because once you go through the competition in the US, we're gonna go overseas and get you fights overseas, or
So
bring them over here.
that's why I want the belt, because I want to keep fighting.
Ray from MK, whole card is going to be sick. This is going to be a great fight. So Ray knows we had to, go outside for his fighter Ashley and get him a champion all the way from Australia. And I'm going to do the same thing regardless for you, both of you ladies. And I will make sure that you stay busy. We have another question. Megan, where do you where do you think Summer sits compared to the international competition you faced? I like this question.
That's a good question. I would say like somewhere in, I mean, and of course I'm speaking to the Summer that I fought. I would imagine that we both evolved quite a bit since that fight. So I, don't expect the same her to come out, and I certainly don't expect the same me that she fought to come out. So speaking to my experience fighting her before, I would say somewhere in the middle. I think there were two girls I fought that were not at the level of Summer. I think I fought um, Czech Republic and Thailand. And I think that Summer was a bit more technical and quicker than both of those girls. I think that the girl from Poland was harder only because she came out like trying to take my head off, which is always a disconcerting experience for the first minute of a fight. And then Mexico, I think she was just she's the best person I fought. So yeah, I think Summer is like a very elite fighter, and I don't expect it to be an easy matchup by any means.
Um, Earlier, both you said about the fact that Freedom is going to make sure that you defend the belt. Um, with that said, uh, if you win, how quick will you be ready to defend?
I mean, right away. I'm going to Saudi Arabia with you guys in October. So that's the only thing I have on the books. So I mean, if it were up to me, I would fight every 4 to 6 weeks. I did that some last year, and I think it was the fastest I've ever gotten better. So as soon as possible.
Same question for you, Summer. If you win next week, how soon can we expect you to defend?
As soon as possible as well. I want the experience and I want the fights. So I want to stay as busy as possible because that's the only way we're going to get better is just staying busy.
You have somebody that's trying to sneak in the Freedom face-off. He's actually fighting with you guys. Have a good night. So, Megan, is there anybody that you would like to fight in the States?
That's a great question. I mean, honestly, I've tried to rack my brain about people that are actively fighting in the 54 kilo, like 118, 119 bracket, and there are not a lot out there. I honestly don't know that I can name another. I know there's some in the past. I can't name another active fighter that's currently at 54 kilos. That I think like TK. She fights out of the East Coast. Like I fought her before. But I know that she's like one of the only people that's really active at that level. Like that's really one of the only names that even comes to mind. But I don't care. I'll fight whoever. I mean, I've gone up. Like I fought 122. I've fought 125. Like I just want the ring time.
So you're open to fighting at 125?
Not 125 anymore. I think I took that fight and it was fun because I weighed in at 124 after eating like 2 meals that day, and my opponent cut about 15 pounds, and I won the fight, but I got hit in the second round and like couldn't feel my arm for the rest of the fight. Like it was a whole different thing. So I think we've established like maybe 122 is as high as I'll go, but
Ray said CC and TK. Not sure if both of you know CC. She's a young girl and she's very promising future. Same question for you, Megan. Sorry, Summer. Who would you like to fight? Is there anybody that you would like to fight?
I actually think, and I've actually heard a lot of people ask me, but I think Ashley Blanco would be a really good fight, whether I go down in weight or she kind of goes up in weight. But that's definitely a fight.
I would love to see that fight.
The future for sure. So would love to do that.
There's a few questions. Let's look at them. This is from Joel. Both of you are coming from out of town. Do either of you see it as an advantage or a disadvantage? Megan first.
no, I mean, I think it's rough when people have to come from the East Coast to the West Coast because of the time difference. Like we fight at 11, p.m. West Coast, and it's like 1 or 2 a.m. East Coast. Going out there, I think it's easy, right? Like it's if I fight at 11 there, it's still early on the West Coast. So I don't know. I don't think it really matters. I think it's more fun. I think it feels more like a build up, and I think the out of town fight experience is always it just makes everything more fun, makes it feel bigger.
Same for you, Summer. Both of you are out of town. Is it an advantage or a disadvantage?
No, I don't think so. but it's in New York City, so I got to represent East Coast Muay Thai. So there you go.
I hear that. I hear that. Megan, you have people coming to watch you fight?
I do, yeah. Luckily, luckily I have some friends in New York, and you know, I'm always trying to recruit more fans. So anytime I'm there from out of town, I try to, you know, chat up the audience, get some more people to yell for me. So I'm not too worried about it.
This is another question from Kikota Street. Women's Muay Thai across the world is at the highest point and it's ever been, and women are earning their respect. Where do these women see women's Muay Thai being in the next 10 years, and where do they see themselves being in the conversation of elite women fighters? Megan first.
I mean, I think women's Muay Thai, it's like what me and Summer have been saying, right? You only get better when you get ring time, when you get experience. So I think the only thing that's delayed women's Muay Thai versus men's Muay Thai is that women haven't gotten the ring time and the opportunity, right? So I think now that women are getting the chance to fight more, you see the skill level accelerating so fast. And I think where every women's sport wants to get to, right, is that people stop talking about like women's Muay Thai, men's Muay Thai, and it's just one sport, and the skill level and the technicality is the same. So I think that regardless of the sport, like that's where I want women's sports to get to, but especially Muay Thai. And, you know, I want to continue fighting at the top level. I think probably me and Summer's outlooks are a bit different because our age difference is, you know, quite big. And I think that's really cool for her as well, that she has a lot more years in the sport than I do. But I'm definitely trying to make the most of the time that I have to keep getting better and to keep climbing my way up the ranks.
Same question for you, Summer.
Yeah, I think in the past few years, women's Muay Thai has really excelled, and you're really starting to see that it's becoming equal. Like Megan said, it's just Muay Thai now. It's not really women's Muay Thai. It's not really men's Muay Thai. It's just starting to become Muay Thai. The next one championship card, it's stacked with 4 main event martial arts fights, all women. So I really love to see that, and it's like, you know, like I said, it's just starting to become one sport where it's not really separated too much. So. In the next few years, I think it's just going to even get any better. So,
let's take this as a final question. Which pros do you admire, and why would you like to fight? And who would you like to fight when you go pro? Megan first.
Pros, I think that, I mean, I study a lot of different people for different aspects, right? I think one of my southpaw idols is Tanpayak. I've been studying this left head kick KO that he had against Savas Michael for like months now, and it's my dream to land that combo one day. So I do love watching him. I think I've been watching a lot of Alicia Rodriguez lately just for her composure. I think that's something that I'm still trying to learn. Like I want to have composure beyond my experience and beyond my years. And I think she's so composed in the ring that I've just been studying her kind of attitude and her presence in the ring a lot. Who would I like to fight if I go pro? Is that the question? I know you have a girl, Rami, that has your world title at 54. So that feels like a good one to start with. I can't remember her exact name right now. But yes.
Brazil.
Yeah. Yep.
We're, you know, so Freedom is going back to Thailand in early next year. So if you want, we're happy to take you with us.
Love it.
Summer, same for you.
it's actually really funny that Megan said Alicia Rodriguez, because I've actually been watching her a lot recently as well, also admiring her, and I'm really excited for her fight coming up on one as well. So I've actually been watching her a lot. She's actually my top woman that I've watched recently I've really been inspired by. And I'd probably say in the future I would like to fight for a WBC pro belt against anyone really. I think that's my next future step when it comes to being pro eventually.
Awesome. So ladies, you've been watching Freedom, and you see we do Freedom Face Off. I want to know your honest opinion. So the reason why we do this Freedom Face Off live is so everybody can get to know these fighters outside of just, you know, the fighter image. What do you think of Freedom Face Off, and do you think it's a good or a bad thing? Megan first.
No, I think it's really cool. I think it's a unique opportunity to kind of hear a little bit behind each of the fighters. You know, I think in the States especially the cards are all over the country. Like fighters, you don't really get a lot of backstory to. So I know I try to watch them as much as I can, and it's always nice when there's fighters I've never heard of that are on the show to kind of hear what their deal is. I also feel like I learn a little bit about mentality and approach to fighting from each one I listen to. So I really appreciate them.
Awesome. Summer, what do you think of? What's your opinion of Freedom Face Off?
I think it's really cool. You kind of get to pick our brains a little bit, and everyone gets to see and hear it, and everyone hears our opinions about stuff and what's our take on the fight and everything. So I think it's a really good idea. One of my favorite Freedom Face-Offs is my teammate Manny. He said some really deep stuff on your last live, so I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I think it's really cool that you do it for the fighters.
That's what it's all about. I mean, at the end of the day, it's for you, for your son, Summer, Megan, for all the fighters on the show. So the whole point of it is to everybody hear your story. We're only used to seeing fighters in the ring, and then we got to kind of paint that picture of them. But then we don't know how they came up, what they seen, the struggle, the good, the bad. And I feel like this is what Muay Thai needs, so we could build it up, so we could have a story and make them become like household fighters, fans.
Mm-hmm.
Just 8 days left. 8 days. Megan, how do you see yourself? This is going to be the final question. How do you see yourself winning next Saturday?
How do I see myself? I don't think that here's my honest opinion of myself right now. I think that whether I win is completely in my control. I think I have unlimited potential. I think I have the skill. I think I have the training. And at this point, as I gain experience, the only question is like, do I have the mentality to make sure that all of that comes out in the fight, right? And that's up to me. So I see myself winning because I've put in the work, because my coaches have just pushed me to the brink this fight camp. And I just trust the process. I trust what they've told me to do. I trust the training and the game plan they've given me. And I trust myself to dig deep and do what it takes. So that's what it comes down to for me.
Trust. I like it. Summer, how do you see yourself winning next Saturday?
Motivation. I have a lot of motivation. I feel like I have a lot to prove. I came off on a really tough loss earlier this year that stung really bad. I took some time to learn about myself more as a fighter, as a person. I came back in the gym. I started training really hard. And like I said, I have a lot to prove for this fight, not just for everyone else, but for myself. So motivation is really keeping me sharp. And when we get in the ring next weekend, it's going to be a fight. So I'm prepared for that.
Thank you, ladies, for allowing me to promote you. You truly are two of the best, in my opinion, in the world. You're on that level. You're on an international level. And I get to have the opportunity of showing your worth and your value to the entire Muay Thai community. Next Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, these two American stars, Megan and Summer, will get to show what our women in the sport are bringing, their success, their value. You guys do not want to miss it. If you support the sport, you make sure that you watch Megan and Summer fight. Megan Summer Part 2 is going to be fire. If you can't be there, you could order a live pay-per-view on FCLTV.com. Again, Summer and Megan, two are the best in the division, in my opinion, international level. So you guys are in for a treat. Thank you both for allowing me to promote you.
Thank you.
Yes. Pleasure.
Bye.
Bye, ladies.
Bye. Thank you.